Welcome back to another video, guys. Today we're talking about some assets that you can acquire in order to get off that constant 9-to-5 cycle. The last video we finished talking about the total money makeover with step 7, building wealth, and the motivating factors in doing so. I encourage you to check out my total money makeover playlist, which will offer you some insight on the proper mindset that you should be having towards creating your financial goals. Once that framework is in place, you should be putting your extra money you have towards assets, which will in turn generate income rather than solely receiving income from your 9-to-5 job. In today's video, we will be discussing 10 different assets which you should strive for. As always, like the video and hit the subscribe button if you would like similar content which will help you escape the rat race.
Skies are clearing up.
The first, and in my opinion the easiest asset to acquire, are stocks. There's two main grouping of stocks. You first have your value and growth stocks. The second type, which I recommend you look into, are dividend stocks. Growth stocks are generally smaller companies, oftentimes in emerging, upcoming markets, while dividend stocks are mainly the blue chip companies which have been established for a while and pass on some of their earnings to the shareholders. One reason I prefer investing in dividend stocks rather than growth stocks is because there have been multiple studies and statistical analysis which show that dividend stocks outperform growth stocks in a recession. So if you plan on holding these for years to come, it may be safer for you to put your money into dividend stocks, in which your position will grow over time if you're reinvesting those dividend payments. All it really takes for you to purchase a stock is to set up a brokerage account. There's multiple different brokerage accounts you can choose from. Oftentimes, dependent on which country you live in, there will be different ones available to you. One good thing about brokerage accounts now is that trading from them is commission-free pretty much across the board. With that being said, they each have their different qualities and characteristics. Let me know in the comment section below if you'd like me to review the differences of brokerage accounts in an upcoming video. Second asset we'll be talking about are bonds. These are a little different from stocks because when you purchase a share of a stock, you are becoming a shareholder in the company, which essentially means that you own a small portion of the company. That's why stock prices tend to fluctuate so much. If the company does poorly, the stock price drops because the company's valuation lessens. Bonds, on the other hand, are a much safer investment, which can be purchased the same way that stocks can through a brokerage account. And everyone should hold at least a couple bonds or a bond ETF, which we'll be talking about later, in order to hedge the risk and even out some of your returns within your portfolio. As I alluded to earlier, because you're not a shareholder when you purchase a bond, if the company loses value, the bond price is not affected. This is because bonds are issued when companies or institutions take out debt. Said institutions have to pay back their debt, and that is why the bond price rises or matures over time. The next asset we'll be talking about is real estate. This is a little bit different from the first two, which are just paper assets that you'll hold in an account. Real estate also offers a tremendously larger upside than the stocks and bonds do. With that being said, you're also taking a more risky position when pursuing this asset. So there's essentially two ways to make money off real estate. You either buy a property, whether it be in cash or with a mortgage loan, and you rent out the property. If you originally bought it in cash, then with the exception of a few minor expenses, all of that rent which you will be charging to your tenants can almost immediately be seen as profit. If you buy a $100,000 property and put a $20,000 down payment on it, you take out a mortgage loan of $80,000. When renting to the tenants, you will use those rent payments to pay down the mortgage, in which you will eventually fully own the property. The second way to earn money from real estate, and this kind of goes hand in hand with the first one, is an increase of property value over time. You want to make sure when buying a house or rental property that it's at a good location, the population of the city is growing, and you want to have some confidence and reason to believe the property value will increase, which means you can sell your property for more money if you decide to do so in the future. The fourth asset is real estate investment trusts, commonly referred to as REITs. This is a nice option for people that want to break into the real estate market but don't yet believe they have the knowledge or capital to do so. REITs are purchased just like stocks from a brokerage account. and you're essentially buying into a company which has and manages a real estate portfolio already. One reason that REITs can be so beneficial to invest in is because they are required by law to pass out their earnings through distributions, generally upwards of 80 to 90%. As a result of that, you'll often see much higher dividend yields, upwards of 8%, 10%, 14%, rather than the more common 3 or 4% yield that you would receive from a stock. Number 5 on the list is starting your own business. This one is a little more hands-on than the previously discussed assets, and generally when you're first starting out, it will not be a passive source of income. With that being said, if you believe you have a good idea which you can properly scale in the future, it can very easily become a passive option. Another factor which makes creating a business very beneficial is you have much more control over what happens to the money you're earning rather than a stock which you're kind of just buying into and setting aside. Although it will take a lot more work in the beginning, the upside for creating a business can really be unmatched if done properly. The 6th asset which you should be acquiring are index funds. I recommend you have at least one of these in your investment portfolio. Index funds are very similar to mutual funds, but they offer a much lower expense ratio as they are not actively managed. Instead of being actively managed, they generally track a specific sector of the market. I believe it's very important to have one of these in your portfolio because it offers vast diversification rather than just owning one stock in which if they have a poor quarter, the stock price will drop. Index funds are generally composed of hundreds of stocks. If one company does poorly and their stock price falls, there may be 2 or 3 other companies which had a really good year and their stock price rises. If you'd like some more information on index funds as well as specific examples of ones that I believe you should invest in, you can check out my video 5 ETFs to Retire Comfortably. I'll throw that up on the screen along with a link in the description. Number 7 on our list today are patents and trademarks. This is kind of similar to number 5, which was build your own business, because it's not necessarily a passive source of income when you first start, but over time it will be. A patent is necessary when you create a product. Before releasing the product to the public, you should get a patent on it, which essentially ensures that you're the creator of said product and you own it and the idea behind it. Once that product is properly patented, then you should reach out to distributors and different stores, which will in turn sell your product for a cut of the profits and make you money passively. Number 8, digital products. As the world continues to progress and the online culture becomes increasingly more apparent, digital products are a great way to turn your hobbies into income. Over the past couple of years, we've seen massive amounts of online training courses be released, as well as your everyday person writing and releasing ebooks. Another good example of digital products would be photography. If you're out there every day taking pictures solely because you love it, you can go home, edit them, throw them up on a website, and sell them for a couple dollars a piece to multiple people. A good way to wrap your head around this asset is to just think anything which will offer value to people online, which you can make a profit from. It's important that that value is distinguished because there's tons of courses out there that people are charging hundreds of dollars for, which offer little to no value. Instead, they're just blasting positive results and made up testimonials in your face. If your digital product doesn't offer value to anyone, then it will not catch on and you'll have a very difficult time making money from it. Number 9, quite similar to patents, are copyrights. This is when you receive royalties from the intellectual property which you create. It's a little different from patents because you don't necessarily need to create and distribute a product, but rather you're receiving royalties from other people using the ideas that you came up with. A good example of this would be if I had ads in my YouTube video and at the same time I put and played a whole 3-minute song in my video which was copyrighted. If the artist or his lawyer found out about that, they could file a copyright claim and I would have to pay any of the money which I made off those ads in the video to the artist because I was taking and using his intellectual property. The last asset which you should be striving for, and maybe the most powerful, is that of a personal brand. Now that we're fully in the technology and information age, social media allows people to profit off their personal brand as well as their number of followers. Obviously, they're not getting paid solely on their number of followers, but creating and building a following is very important when scaling and monetizing your brand. Having a strong brand can help you make money from monetization such as affiliate marketing, brand deals, or even advertisements. I hope you all enjoyed the information that we discussed in this video. In addition to laying out 10 different assets which you should be acquiring to increase your cash flow, I also believe having the knowledge of these will help you think about different ways to monetize things in your life in the future. Let me know down in the comments below which asset was your favorite and which ones you personally own. Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel, as well as hitting that notification bell to stay updated on any future content. As always, I'm Patrick Zimmerman. Thank you for your time and enjoy the rest of your day.